Hey guys, this is SkyFX2 here with Duece from the Pokemon Wi-Fi chat, and we're going to be talking about this rumor on the Pokemon sequels to Black and White that I'm gonna mess up his name. Junichi Masuda mentioned earlier today, I believe it was, or a few days ago, I don't know. But he mentioned that there's going to be a sequel to the Pokemon Black and White games, and here we have Ducey. Say hi, Duce.
What's going on, guys? My name's Duece. I'm a mod at the Pokemon Wi-Fi chat, and I hope I don't bore you to death today with our discussions over random whatevers.
Yeah, and I'm probably going to sound like a complete dork, which I truly am. And we actually kind of spoke before this podcast here because we're talking about, okay, let's kind of practice here. We're just going to screw up, but that's okay. This is just for fun. This is fan speculation and everything. So we're going to be talking about Pokemon Black and White sequels that was mentioned earlier this week. And Ducey, let's go ahead and start off with this rumor that you found two moves, right? Two moves. It was Freeze Shock and Ice Burn, right?
I'm pretty sure that's what they're called. It was either the other way around, but basically, I was making a Smeargle set on Pokemon Online, which I'm sure you guys have probably played before, and Smeargle can learn every move in the game, and when I was looking through the moves, I noticed two moves that really caught my eye. There's one here called Freeze Shock. Basically, me and Sky looked it up, and it says something, it's one of Kyurem's signature moves, and also possibly Zekrom or Reshiram can learn it. It's 140 power and 90 accuracy for physical, which is Freeze Shock, and then 30% chance for Paralyze, which would probably be a move Zekrom and Kyurem can both learn. And then also Ice Burn, which is 140 power, 90 accuracy, and especially, and 30% chance for a burn. And the other one was Parahax. So Kyurem basically is obviously probably going to be the combine whatever of the Zekrom and Reshiram in Gray, if Gray comes out, and these are the new moves that are going to be introduced for whatever reason. These have never been covered before, nobody's ever seen them, I don't think, and they just really caught my eye.
Yeah, and I was reading up on Bulbapedia, and it also caught my eye here, because when you posted it for me, I was like, okay, wait, I've never even heard of this, maybe I missed it, so I looked it up, and according to Bulbapedia, there's like no Pokemon that actually learn it, so they're speculating that it is indeed Kyurem's special signature move. But the cool thing, he has two of them, If you look at it, you got Ice Burn, which, like you said, would kind of reference that of Reshiram, and then you got, Freeze Shock, which would reference Zekrom, which I think is really cool, because it's kind of basically saying that, this Pokemon is indeed, like, a combination of what Zekrom or Reshiram were. And if you look at his eyes and everything, they're kind of like dead. There's some, I don't remember if it was story-wise or Pokedex-wise, but in the game, in Pokemon Black and White, if you pay attention to some of the story plots or some of the Dex entries or whatever, you can see that they mentioned that there used to be one version of that Pokemon rather than having Zekrom or Reshiram. So this is like maybe the remains of that one Pokemon. And if you look at his eyes, they kind of look like he's dead. So it's pretty cool, because if that is, it's sort of like Shedinja, where he's like leftover Pokemon kind of walking around. And, I'm hoping that this rumor that was announced is Pokemon Gray, and I think it would be really cool if it is, because there's a lot of things going on, and I think it just makes sense. What do you think about this, though?
Honestly, that whole Zekrom and Reshiram thing, like, they were originally one Pokemon, but then they parted for whatever reason. I can't remember exactly, but I think it was something that there was two trainers or something, and they wanted to go to him or something like that. And basically, like you said, how this could be the remains. Maybe when they left, there was a third piece that broke from the one, and then just kind of disappeared, never was heard of. And that honestly would make sense, though, attending that Kyurem is just kind of put in the game like Giratina was in Diamond and Pearl. And I wouldn't be surprised if it turns out like that.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised too either. And the cool thing is that, this Pokemon, if you look at it closely, his wings kind of like chipped or like screwed over, like from battle or battling or something. But if somewhere in the Pokemon game it says that it's like he crash landed, so I'm guessing that's like where his damage came from his right side of his wing. So it's kind of screwed up from that side. And that gets me thinking, okay, if these Pokemon were one one at one time, at one point. So that means more than likely he's going to have a secondary form. And the interesting part about that, there is actually something that the fans discovered. I don't know who it was or where it was. I read it somewhere online. I don't remember who. But you can probably find this information on Bulbapedia. There's a slot, or like a secondary form slot for Kyurem, which was very similar to what they discovered in Giratina, Rotom, and Diamond and Pearl. So this is like a really, really high speculation that this is actually going to be the mascot for Pokemon Gray. Of course, it's obvious, you know. They got the trio symbols or something. I forgot what it's called. The Taio trio of the Unova region, you know. And him having a secondary form would make sense because he's kind of like a dead. If you look at his eyes, he's basically a dead Pokemon. His wings shift and everything. He's like a walking zombie. And if these two Pokemon merge together, I think that maybe he has like a completely different form. I don't know about typing. I doubt it. But it'd be really cool if he did have a different type. I'm not sure what's going to go on with this, and I don't have any idea what this Pokemon would look like. But I'm hoping that, you know, this rumor is going to be happening for sure. And like you said, Giratina having another form and all that. And I'm just talking nonsense here. Just too many things going on this week, and we just want to talk about it because there's a lot of things that talk about with these games. And there's the Pokemon trading card game. My friend was talking to me earlier saying that the Kyurem on the trading card game has nothing to do with the games. But I'm telling you, yeah, but you know, they could advertise Pokemon Gray in this perfect way. And you know, here now we have, a week later, Junichi Masuda announcing that there could be a sequel, which could be either Gray announced, I don't know, and that all these things are coming together, so it's pretty cool. And I'll leave it at that. Go ahead. What's your takes on this, Deuce?
I remember you were telling me something about a gray orb or something like that, and that could possibly, like how with Giratina, the greasiest orb or something like that, makes him go into his other form. So maybe the gray orb will make Kyurem go into his form, because also if you pay attention to Cynthia, how Cynthia is just kind of at the one beach next to the underwater relics or whatever it's called.
I can't remember.
And she's just kind of there, and I remember in Diamond and Platinum, Diamond and Pearl, before Platinum, she was just kind of always talking about relics and whatnot. And then in Heart Gold and Soul Silver, she was at the
Shinto ruins.
What are the ruins called there again?
Shinto ruins.
The Shinto ruins. She was kind of there. And then it would make sense, tending that she's at a beach, looking for whatever, just pretend, maybe undercover or something. Whatever happened to Looker? Do you remember who Looker was?
Yeah, I remember Looker.
Platinum?
Yeah.
Maybe he's going to be introducing Gray for whatever reason. Maybe he's looking for maybe Genesect or something like that. I mean, he just did kind of disappear after Platinum.
Yeah, actually, no. I'm sorry. Yeah, Looker is in Black and White. The sages, you remember the I think there were 7 sages? He's in the game at the very end. I don't want to put out any spoilers for anybody. But if you go through the entire game, Looker does show up, but he has a really minor role. Really minor.
Oh, I do remember that. I remember when I was going for Volcarona in the Relic Castle, in case nobody did that yet. One of the sages is in the Desert Relics or whatever. You go the back way, and then you'll have to face like a level 70 Crocodile or something that Team Galactic has. And then you make your way through the Volcarona place, and that was the first one I found, I think. And that's how I remember Looker, but I never did look for the other sages. Maybe the sages add up to Kyurem or something. Maybe N has something to do with Kyurem.
Yeah, probably something with them. What you pointed out about the Pokemon games in the Diamond and Pearl, I think, no, it was Heart Gold and Soul Silver, and Diamond and Pearl with Cynthia talking about ruins and all that she's so interested in that. You made a really good point. Now, if you look at some of the these 4th generation games, you see Cynthia's really into that. She's like, she's always looking at ruins and old artifacts and stuff like that. If you look at her pattern, you know, especially Heart Gold, Soul Silver, she's in the Shinto ruins. She's trying to discover something. I know that's where you get Arceus and Giratina and all those, you know, but she's in like an ice type area, you know. And I don't know if this is pure fan speculation, you know, the ice area, and then you take that ice area of Shinto place, I don't know if a region or not, and you kind of take that over to an ice Pokemon like Kyurem, you know. Now, what these two places have in common? Maybe there's a connection there. And the cool part about this, there is a minor connection. If you look at Cynthia in Pokemon Black and White, she is at the beach like you mentioned, but she really has no main purpose except that you can battle her there, and that's about it. She might talk about some things about maybe there's something there hidden like a ruin. She's like diving, and some random trainer mentioning that she's kind of swimming there in a bikini or whatever, swimsuit. But if you look at that, it just makes no sense her just being there. So what is she doing? She's exploring. She's looking for the ruins that are in that area. And in Black and White, the ruins are completely vast or empty. I mean, you might find some items to pick up and sell to one of the guys on the area. That's about it. That's all you can do. And I personally think that these ruins have something more to do with Pokemon Black and Pokemon Gray. If these ruins were to get expanded, like what they did in some other games where they expand certain areas, I'm guessing that if you go into these ruins, Cynthia will play a bigger role in that area. And the Pokemon game, Pokemon Black and White, there's a hidden item called the Gray Orb, like you mentioned. This Gray Orb is not available in Pokemon Black and White. So what does that say? You know, this Gray Orb item has to be located somewhere. So what other place could it be perfect to hide this thing than the ruins? You know.
Yeah, also on the ruins, I remember exploring the ruins before, and if you're in there too long, like the tidal waves or whatever will wash you out or something.
Yeah.
Maybe just this is a possibility. Maybe it's like Keldeo or something causing that. I mean, Keldeo is just kind of thrown in the game too, and so is Genesect and Meloetta, and they really don't make any sense. They never really talked about it. They just kind of put it in there and just let people think about it or whatnot. Because also with the Terrakion, Virizion, and Cobalion, they're like the trio, and then there's Keldeo out of nowhere, just completely thrown in the game for whatever reason.
Yeah, it's really weird, and like you said, the ruins are just there. There's really no reason for it to be there, and it could be that Keldeo could be the one causing the waves on there, and you know, and it's not too far fetched. You know, it could actually be that. No pun intended, by the way, and if it is, you know, that's probably where you can find them there. But then this begs another question, you know, where is this Pokemon Gray Orb item supposed to be located at, you know? When you go into those ruins, the only thing you find is a crown, which you can sell, and you get a lot of money off the game. But that's about it. Once you get that crown, it's like, you did everything. There's really no need to go in there either. There's no purpose for that crown, except to actually get it. And you know what, now that I remember, if you remember the Pokemon Black and White intro, N has a crown. You remember that?
Yes, I do.
Okay, so what if this crown has something to do with N? You know, you pick it up, or maybe N's there to get it or something, unlock something. I doubt it, but if it is, it is. If it's not, it's not. But I think the Gray Orb has to be located somewhere around the ruins, because there's got to be a bigger purpose for Cynthia being there. There really has to be. And if there is, you get this Gray Orb, which either unlocks a new area in the game, or it takes you to the Giant Chasm, which might be blocked off even further, or maybe expanded to a more complex area, which I think they might do that. And you can get this Pokemon, or better yet, maybe you get this Pokemon first, Kyurem, then you get this Gray Orb, like you mentioned, and it changes its form. And once you get that form, you know, or maybe it opens a new world, I don't know, but there's just so much to talk about in that little section right there. And I personally think that they have to have some way to introduce this Gray Orb, and maybe those ruins are the perfect place to introduce it. But, you know, a lot of people will say, well, then what about the Black and White orbs, you know, what about them? Well, if you remember in Emerald, you can get Groudon and Kyogre and Rayquaza. If you look at Platinum, you can get Palkia, Dialga, and the other one. So, obviously, the Black and White Orb are still going to be in Pokemon Gray if they do introduce it, but, you know, you're still going to get the Gray Orb. And what's your take on that?
Maybe, I have no idea, maybe if you have all the other orbs, you can get the Gray Orb. That sounds completely stupid, but it could be possible. Really, it just makes no sense to just throw all this stuff in there and not talk about it at all. I mean, having a third game would totally make sense to just solve all of these questions that want to be answered and just really talk about these things that they just kind of threw in and never really explained.
Yeah, and speaking of that they never really explained, you do remember the Shadow Tribe. Okay, well, those guys, what's up with them, right? Yeah. What's up with them? What do you think?
I honestly don't even know. I mean, I remember every time I'd get closer to Team Plasma or in the story or whatever, they just kind of appear out of nowhere and they'd bring me up to someone. And then after the bridge, when you're on the giant bridge going to outside of the actual game where only the 5th gen Pokemon are. I think that's where it's at. That's the last time that you see them. From,
Yeah.
I forget why. I forget if to do with N or Getsis or whatever his name is.
Yeah,
I don't even remember.
his name's hard to say, and I personally think that the Shadow Triad, they're gonna be more, but they have to explain more about them if they make Pokemon great. They have to explain who these guys are, where they come from, why are they there, why don't they battle you, and all this. But if the cool thing about this, if you go into the manga, I know it's really nerdy. I don't read the manga. I read some of it. Like if something catches my eye, I'll read it. The Pokemon manga says that the Shadow Triad, one of them is a Pansage Master, and I can't remember the life of me for that other one. Sammy Sage or whatever his name is. So if you look at that pattern, it's grass, fire, and water. Grass, fire, and water. Now, in the Pokemon games, you got the 3 starter gym leaders in the games. They're the first guys, right? But when you go into, big spoiler here, if you guys are listening and you want to cover your ears, if you go into the very end of the Elite Four type area, all the gym leaders team up to battle Team Plasma, except for the 3 starter gym leaders. So it could either be these guys. I know I'm getting off topic with Kyurem, but I'm going to make a U-turn right now and go back to Kyurem. Now, what if the Shadow Triad, what if they represent Reshiram, Zekrom, and Kyurem? Right?
Yeah, that would make sense. Maybe those are the 2 people that the Reshiram and Zekrom broke into 2 for. I mean, maybe those are the people, and then maybe they're trying to find them again, and then they realize that they're with U and N, and then maybe they try and get Kyurem to get them back or something. They were just kind of thrown in there for whatever reason. And maybe with those 3 gym leaders, maybe those are the 3 Shadow Triad in disguise or something, because I don't think you see the Shadow Triad until after you beat them.
Yeah, and the weird part is I really don't think some kind of Shadow Triad ninja type person that seems so badass would be the starter gym leaders. I really can't see that. But the manga explains that they use these 3 starter Pokemon, the same like the 3 gym leaders, and they're not in the Elite Four area when they battle Team Plasma. They're not. They're the only ones missing. And Belle, I think that's her name, Belle explains that she did not reach these gym leaders in time to inform about Team Plasma. But it could go either way. But what I did notice is that they also have the battle modes for rotation battle. They got triple battle. They really didn't do that. So what if Pokemon Gray uses these 3 guys, the Shadow Triad, for like a triple battle or rotation battle? That would be really cool, especially if they use. I think you actually told me this. If they use the 3 legendary Pokemon in this manner. I don't know who it was. I don't know if it was you or someone else, but that would be really cool if they did something like that. It'd really blow my mind. It's like, oh crap, you've gotten used to this style of battling. Now here you go, you got rotation battle or a triple battle with these 3 legendary Pokemon against a Shadow Triad type person. I don't know.
Maybe you and your 2 rivals or friends.
Oh, dude, yeah, you're right.
You team up, and then it's a 3 versus 3. Rotation battle or whatever. Maybe at the end of something, maybe the Shadow Triad are trying to prevent you from finding something. Maybe that's why they guide you everywhere. They're trying to be like, oh, you can't go this way. You're gonna find something that we're trying to hide or whatever. And then eventually you just catch up with them wherever, and then your rivals just happen to be there. Maybe they found it, and you just have a triple battle or something.
That would make sense. It really would, because they're not really, if it's indeed the starter gym leaders, they're not really bad guys. They're just trying to prevent something from happening. Maybe.
Yeah.
And if you pay attention to the game, I'm gonna mess up his name. Getsis, or whatever his name is, Team Plasma, the true Team Plasma, big spoiler, boss, he says that he saved, or somehow he saved these 3 gym leaders, which kind of makes you think, okay, well, that means that, not gym leaders, the Shadow Triad makes them seem weaker than Getsis. So it kind of go back to that, to the starter gym leaders. So if these Shadow Triad are supposed to be weaker than the Getsis, that means it would make sense for them to be the starter gym leaders. And if they are the Shadow Triad, that means they're not really joining Team Plasma. They're kind of giving their depth back to this guy, because they say somehow he saved their life, like kind of saying like, we're not part of Team Plasma, but this guy did save our lives, so we owe our lives to him. So we're kind of neutral here, so we're just trying to protect this secret from going out, but at the same time, this guy owes our. I mean, we owe our life to him. That's basically that's the way I see it. If that's how it is.